So this video subject is inspired by a short that I made a few months ago. And apparently, based on what I have read online, what some people actually think. And it is important to differentiate the meanings of overrated when used in different contexts. And sometimes when somebody tells you that this thing over there is overrated, it's hard to tell whether they mean they think it should be more appropriately rated or whether they actually think it's bad. And I am coming at this subject from a point of being the type of person that does tend to avoid very popular things because they're popular. Or avoiding things because everyone else is doing it. I'm very much a go against the flow type of person. I want to be different. I want to be myself, uninfluenced by other things and what other people say is popular or good. To me, going with the flow and doing something just because it was popular or reading something because it was popular just seemed unattractive. Like, why would you do that? Why would you read it because other people are reading it? Aren't you reading it because you want to? And I feel like I can look back at my old self and see how I've matured in that area, but that part of my personality definitely extends to books, and so I get it. I get the feeling of not wanting to read what everyone else is reading. I am glad that I discovered Tolkien before, why do I want to say Percy Jackson? Before the Peter Jackson movies came out and all the hype over the Lord of the Rings, because then I might have rebelled against it and missed out on some of my favorite books ever. I did refuse to read Harry Potter until I was in my 20s. I did read The Hunger Games when they were new and popular. Although that was partly, well, I say that. I will say that it was because I had teenagers in my life that I wanted to relate to. That might have been an excuse because I secretly wanted to read the books and needed a good reason besides just, everyone is reading these. But what about these groups of people that think that something, like a book, is bad because it's popular? So many people like it, it can't be that good. It feels like elitism. It feels super pretentious. And in some ways, it feels like conspiracy theorism. It gives the same feelings like, I'm a little annoyed by that. When there's a conspiracy theory, the conspiracy theorist is so convinced that everyone else is blind. I'm the only one smart enough to see through to the truth. And it feels that way with really popular things, popular books. Everyone else likes that book for some reason, but I am smart enough to realize that it's not that great. A lot of times those really popular books kind of have a snowball effect. Like when something starts to gain popularity and then people read it because everyone's reading it. Is it gaining popularity because so many people are reading it? Are more people reading it because it's gaining popularity? Sometimes it's hard to tell. Sometimes it just keeps going. People hopping on that hype train. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We all want to feel like we're part of something. We want to be included. We don't want to be left out. I do feel like reading as a hobby kind of feels like the smart hobby, which is why there can be so much elitism and pretentiousness in reading as a hobby, because if you're watching this, you probably like to read in your spare time. Who else do you know that likes to read in their spare time? We have free time and we choose to pick up a book and read. There can be a lot of pride in that. I have the smart hobby. Ooh, that's dangerous ground. Dangerous ground for looking down on other people. And what even are the smart books anyway? Obviously not the ones that appeal to the masses. I have seen a lot of Reddit posts. Sometimes it's in the r/fantasy subreddit, sometimes it's in the writing subreddit or the book subreddit. So many people talking about teachers, English teachers or writing professors or whatever, who kind of poo-poo popular books or genre fiction, because those genre fiction books, especially the really popular ones, obviously aren't literary works or great literature. And I could probably make a whole video on that. I was planning on it. I saw that a bigger booktuber had made that video, and then I was like, well, I can't do it now because then I'd be copying them. You can see my old personality still shining through. But I think there's also, besides pride and feeling smart and elite for what you read, I think there's also kind of a vulnerability. And because some people, we, whatever, readers can have it in their head that there is this huge group of people who have read this popular book. And if I have been seeing myself as part of the group above them, reading this other small bit of more literary, undiscovered works, whatever, if I choose to read that book, I'm lowering myself, which I don't think is true. I don't think that is the case in reality, but to feel that way can feel vulnerable. And then if you're feeling that way and feel like you have to raise yourself back up again, you need to make yourself feel smarter, more literary, the easy thing to do is to put down that large group of people. And that is what I am against. We all want to feel smart. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be smart, feel smart. I think that's a natural thing. But what is wrong is putting others down to achieve that feeling. And I think that saying that something is bad just because it's popular or that it's overrated just because it's popular is pretentious. And I think maybe my younger self might have been in that group of people that would have said, oh, you read that? My older self now, I like to think, has matured and grown as a person and will say, read whatever you like. Yay, more people reading books. Awesome. So, can something be very popular and be bad? Yes. Can something gain huge popularity because it is good? Absolutely. Or can there be a book or whatever interests you that is very, very good that never gains mass popularity? Also, yes. All these things can be true at the same time. So let's all be kind to each other and read more books. I am currently reading The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. Look how close I am. So close! Thank you to my patrons for your support. I appreciate you. I will link the short that inspired this longer video. I hope you are enjoying whatever book you are on, and happy reading. Bye.